Here we go. Hot off the press. Retrospective in the future. Just posted by the studio director. ZeniMax Online studio director Matt Firer discusses another big year for the Elder Scrolls Online and its future. First paragraph up as we approach the end of 2022. It's once again time to share some thoughts on where ESO is and to look ahead at what is in store for the game in the new year. In 2023, ESO will see an amazing chapter as well as some long requested changes to the type of content that we will deliver, based largely on community feedback. Okay, heart's beating here a little bit. Let's see what this is. Amazing chapter in content based largely on community feedback. All right, very vague. But before we get into the details, 2022 is ending as we wind down the legacy of the Breton storyline. We were very happy to welcome the millions of new ESO players who joined over the course of 2022, which featured 2 new localizations, Spanish and simplified Chinese. We returned to live in-person events with another amazing and fun ESO Tavern in Germany this August. It was a great year, and even better in that we got to start traveling again and see you in person. Addressing actual problems. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the issues with Update 36, which launched just last November. It introduced far too many bugs and issues, and even as I write this, we are still chasing down issues with blocking and combat. Trust me, I am as just concerned about this as you all are, and we will be making some process changes with the dev team to ensure that things like this happen far more rarely. With an aging coding base, which is 26 million lines of code, really, it is difficult to be 100% efficient. But we can be far, far better, and we know it. Okay, so this paragraph kind of sticks out to me. I am as concerned as you are. We were making some process changes with the dev team. For me, what are the changes? Maybe they address that a little bit further, but this is again vague, saying we're gonna make changes, kind of like a politician, but not outlining what those changes are. But let's keep reading. ESO looking forward. In general, there are 2 types of content in ESO, handcrafted such as quest stories and things you do one time per character, and systems, which are activities that are generally repeatable such as PvP, dungeons, trials, housing, daily crafting writs, etc. Crafting writs, bro! We have always had a mix of these 2 types of content, but in terms of dev team hours, the majority of time developing the game has been weighted towards questing content. Well, that's pretty apparent when that's pretty much everything in the DLC. As I mentioned above, the big news for 2023 is that based in significant part on player feedback, we are now at the point where we are reassessing the balance of handcrafted, one-and-done story content versus repeatable game activities. Okay, very vague, not telling us anything specific yet, shocker. ESO is a massive game with huge number of zones, quests, and systems. Yes, and they continue to add systems. We have created 40 or so hours of hand-built content every year since 2015, as well as a myriad of dungeons and new systems like One Tamriel, thieving, assassinations, companions, tales of tributes, antiquities, crafting, housing, graphical character customization, solo group arenas, PvP battlegrounds, and much, much more. Okay, I'm exhausted reading that. Now that we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours questing content, enough for 4 or 5 regular RPGs, we are hearing from our new player base the sheer number of zones and stories and characters is intimidating. And on the other hand, our veteran players consistently tell us that they would like more content that isn't played through just once. They would like more content that they can enjoy for years, content that utilizes our already existing zones to add new things, and most importantly, introduce some new gameplay. Okay? Haven't got anything. Oh, moving forward to 2023. Given the above, 2023 will see us moving away from the year-long adventure. 12-month storylines that we have featured since 2019 Season of Dragons. Wow. I think these have run their course and frees us to do some new and interesting content that we've been wanting to do for years now, and lets us return to expansive story arcs that unfold over multiple chapters. This year-long story strategy was a huge success and raised the profile of ESO, but now after 4 straight years, we're finding more and more that the cadence limits what we do. Okay, that's actually literally what the big feedback was. So, okay. Well, what are they going to do instead? That is true. That's what we've all pretty much said. The exact same model of every single year is boring and not bringing anyone new to the game. Please note that the first half of the year remains essentially unchanged, but the second half of the year now has an update devoted to addressing issue quality of life improvements, an update devoted to a new large tentpole system. Okay, tentpole system. So Q1 dungeon DLC, okay, haha. Fully featured chapter in June. Ooh, June's gonna be tough competing against Diablo. Not a good play by them. Competing against Diablo, that's a huge... Okay, well, they're going to stick to it, but good luck with that. The 2023 ESO chapter will be complete story. Snooze, you will be able to play all the way through it without a storyline that is broken out and reserved for later in the year. We will return to larger, better, and more detailed chapters by doing this. We are really excited about the New Year's chapter. For details, you'll have to wait. Reveal event in January, but one hint. This will be part of a multi-year story arc and will contain one of the most requested new features. One of the most requested new features? One of the most requested new features. Difficulty modes for Overland and Mythic, seasonal passes. Yeah, no lag. Fixing the servers is one of the most requested. Okay, oh, interesting. Q3, focus on quality of life improvements and bugs and fixes. AKA, they're slowing down the content cadence of this game, which we figured this would be the case. To be fair to them, though, essentially, we have all said, stop making a gazillion dungeons that people get tired of playing and actually doing this. Now, the issue is, with Q3, they're gonna actually have to do something. They're gonna actually have to fix the bugs. It can't just be like, we're gonna take Q3 off and nothing's gonna change and the servers are gonna still suck and all the bugs from back a bunch of years ago are still gonna suck. If you actually follow up on this and fix a lot of crap, fix the servers and do it, I think it's good. If you're just like, we're gonna take a snooze break for 3 months and nothing's gonna be changed, and there's no balancing changes, this will be an enormous disappointment. Q4, rather than the usual Zone DLC, we'll be featuring a new system. We will be featuring a new system. We are working on the concept and the design for this. We will give more details during our global reveal event early next year. New system. Looking back at ESO's evolution since 2014, you can see we often shake things up. We will assess how the new cadence is received both by development team and the community. Oh god, here we go. Hardware and server updates. We are in the home stretch of updating and replacing all the ESO data centers, which of course has significantly delayed by ongoing global shutdown, sourcing, blah, blah, blah. Once complete, ESO servers and infrastructure will be more reliable, and we saw this from the realm that has been upgraded so far, PCNA, which has gotten a lot worse during prime time, and I was skeptical on this, and it has. There will be some performance improvements as well. Almost all the hardware should be delivered and in place by December, and then we'll need a month or two to install and test everything before we shift over the new hardware. Please note that we are prioritizing all 3 realms in the EU data centers first, and then we'll return to NA data centers to finish moving Xbox and PlayStation realms there. We are frustrated as you this has taken so long, but it's happening, and will be done and ready probably in late February and March 2023. We're sticking with that timeline. Fascinating. Okay. Our multi-thread rendering work continues as announced a month or so back. Just to remind everyone, this is an initiative that will result in better overall server performance, as we already announced. We'll be phasing these changes in the course of 2023, starting with the chapter in Q2. We'll keep everyone posted as this goes forward. Okay, so again, just kicking this down the road. ESO fan gatherings in 2023. We have wanted to have a mass gathering of ESO fans in North America for years, and I'm happy to say that we'll be having in-person gatherings this spring somewhere in the United States. Do it in Nebraska or Colorado! Stay tuned for details, but you can expect to get hands-on with the new chapter, see presentations from the developers and community teams, of course. Spend some time with fellow ESO players. We are definitely looking forward to seeing you in North America in person. And of course, we'll be seeing you Europeans as well in the summer at ESO Tavern. Stay tuned for details. As you can see, we've got some big things planned for the future of ESO, and we can't wait to share more details about what's coming to Tamriel in 2023 and beyond. As always, my heartfelt thank you to the ESO community for their role in the continued evolution of the Elder Scrolls Online. Your passion for the game, including its world and stories, is inspiring to us as developers, and we believe that Tamriel is the second era. Wouldn't be the same without your own characters, communities, And yes, feedback. Cheers! I put that in there, by the way. He didn't write that. Here's to another exciting year for the Elder Scrolls Online! See you in Tamriel! Who's with me? All right, so what the heck did we make of this? Chat, what did we make of this? Going through this real quick, they hinted at a new system that was most requested. What's most requested? The biggest post in the forums is about harder overland content. Okay, so maybe that's what it is. Okay, yeah, you're onto something because they keep talking about that they already have tons of stories, tons of zones, tons of quests. So if you were gonna cut back on some of the development and really focus on allegedly fixing the bugs and stuff, wouldn't you want to basically reinvigorate all that old content? You wouldn't have to make any more. You throw out a battle pass or something like that, you're able to scale the overland content and boom, next thing you know, you got a gazillion more hours in very little development time and making all the new zones fresh and repeatable. But yeah, this to me sounds like they're not gonna add a new class and they're not gonna add a new weapon. They're gonna add some new system to basically incentivize you and get you to play all the old stuff again. Wouldn't that be the smart play? Especially if they wanted to spend more time on other projects, which it's been confirmed, ZeniMax has another MMO in the works, 200 developers plus, 4.5 years in development. I always basically say that this should be similar to essentially Star Wars Royal Republic. Star Wars Royal Republic has story content. You have 3 different layers of that story content, story mode and then master. Story mode is extraordinarily easy. You could be the worst player in the game, your companion carries you through it, you get to see the story. Master mode is very hard even for a sweat lord. That would be fun for me, because I always complain about this. I personally always complain, Overland's too easy, it's why I'm playing New World right now. The stories are just a snooze, they're way too easy. I'd blow through them with 1 meteor, kill all the bosses, and like that's supposed to be really big and bad and everything else. So this is something I've actually requested. So yeah, it sounds like 2023 is gonna be basically reinvesting or try to make a new system that revitalizes the old content. But let's be fair here. You're gonna get 2 dungeons the entire year. We do not know if we're getting a new trial, which may be reasonable to assume that we are, considering that they said the chapter is gonna be similar to what they've already done. And 1 or 2 systems in the entire year. Okay, so those 1 or 2 systems in the entire year of Elder Scrolls Online have to absolutely be a home run to keep people playing. Because in March, what's gonna bring people back? 2 new dungeons? Okay, well, you're gonna beat all those dungeons and get all the gear and get the hard modes and trifectas done in a week or 2. And then you just wait around for the next chapter, which will have maybe a new system in it, and that will carry you through to the final quarter? I don't know, gang. This is kind of worrying me. Are they slowing down the game? Or are they actually going to revitalize it? Are they actually going to fix some of the bugs that exist? Is the content going to be replayable and good with great rewards? And are these systems going to be massive? Because what Belfast said in chat was the most requested system is a harder overland content. It's not a class. It's not a skill line. It's not some new sweaty, PvP thing. It's overland. Smitty says Deltia just buy ZOS and bring ESO to glory. What do you think? I'm Elon Musk over here? I'm just a lowly streamer.